Hello, one and all, and welcome to the D2 stream for the League of Europe Season 3, and we're at the second division for the first race of the season in Australia. And if you're wondering why we spent a long time not saying anything, because we were conducting a minute silence to commemorate the those who are currently struggling in southeastern Australia and the horrible bushfires that have taken place and claimed many animals' lives. So, anyway, on a slightly lighter note, here we are for the start of this new season. I, of course, will not be conducting this alone. I am joined by Mr. Kvyat Verstappen. How you doing?
Hello. Yeah, I'm doing fine. How about you?
Oh, yeah, excellent. So yeah, let's kick this season off with a bang, shall we? We've got a full grid of 20 drivers, which is absolutely fantastic to see. So hopefully these guys are able to put on a good show with the numbers we have. But first drama here, just mere seconds into the start of the season. Dylan, who I can't obviously select in terms of the camera, he's actually got disqualified for blocking the pit lane, which is bizarre to me. Not sure if he had a wheel failure or what, because it's very odd for a driver to just get disqualified. It's happened to me once because my wheel disconnected, but yeah, that's not that doesn't happen very often. So Dylan out, yeah, hugely compromised session. But as we've seen in other divisions, not impossible to go from last to first here. So don't count him out just yet.
Indeed. We saw in D1 Alphatrix pull that off. So why not here? You never know.
You never know. So I'm just searching to see drivers on hot laps. I believe
Cookie Games is.
Cookie Games, yeah. So we'll go on board with him. Of course, coming down from Division 1. Expect him to be up there with some of the top guys in this division. But obviously very tight amongst everyone. So a lot can flip back and forth, a lot can change compared to what we've suspected. I think he has backed off. I think he's not pushing on that. I think he may have invalidated. But anyway, so we're going board with V5, another driver coming down from D1. Who he does flip from D1 to D2 from time to time, but here he is anyway. Got a car in front of him, hopefully doesn't get put off too much from disturbed there. Makes his way through turn 11, 12, very tricky corner, will probably claim many victims across the divisions tonight. No matter how good a driver you are, you're never safe from that exit curve. The V5 is going to navigate his way through this high speed right-hander there, and now down onto the brakes, tough braking zone, flicks it in second gear, and now trying to get the best traction you can all the way through this last corner for the run to the line. Takes it nice and cleanly, and V5 is going to open up this season 2 with a 20.4, pretty solid banker lap for V5. Just gets to the top of the timesheets for now.
Yeah, definitely. Decent lap. I think Nico's on the lap. A few others as well, but right on board, coming from turn 13. Trying to get the power down as soon as possible. Taking a lot of inside curb there. Coming to turn 15, one of the toughest braking zones. And around the final corner, if you're taking it slowly, you will not overheat. So he's trying to improve on the time of his teammates, which he does not do
quite
just yet. 3 tenths off.
Yep, Gary.
Mr. Gary Donegan.
Gary opens his season up strongly with a good banker lap. He did this in Britain as well in the pre-season race, jumping up to the top of the timesheets. Let's see if he can stay there this time. Looking elsewhere, got some drivers. I believe it's Matty G is coming through the final few corners. Nope, he's not on a lap. Car Mentalist up the line on mediums. Let's see what he can do. There's a 21.8, which isn't that bad of a time. He's still got time to find. I expect him to put on the softs. We're just getting a banker out there, as is Adri, who wasn't quite as quick, maybe just made a mistake on that lap. So I think one of the next drivers across the line is going to be Mark. Not his favourite track, he prefers the next track we will be visiting, so stay tuned for that one, see if Mark can be up there. Shifts down to first gear very aggressively into turn 15, and now onto the throw. Canes it up towards the line, and where's he going to go there? Is he going to be amongst some of the top guys in here? He squeezes himself up into P5, not a bad effort, into the top half of the guys that set times there. Mark, P5, just behind Nico, still a long way to go though.
Let's see, I think the next one should be Killer Blue, who's on the lap. So on the mediums. Coming around to turn 11 and 12. Very tricky corner, as he has a snap oversteer. The exit of 12. Get the DRS open. Brake it at like 75 meters there. And nice
Very
line
nice.
through there.
Yeah.
14. Takes a lot of hints. Actually leaves the inside curb there, but come around the final corner. Takes a bit of wide there. Coming across the line, 121.9, which is a tenth behind Carmentless, the fastest guy on medium so far.
Yeah, decent lap from Keller, just shy of that quickest time there. I believe the next car on the lap is Harry Warg actually, or Mark. And now Mark's coming in. Oh, he definitely, substantially cuts the inside of that. He's gonna have to reset himself. So I think we're in a bit of a quiet point in the session. Guys have completed their first runs, so
Super Gamer is coming just to start his lap.
Oh, Keller. Keller's gone. I'm not sure what's happened to him there, but the Ferrari man doesn't exactly.
Maybe around turn 5, as it says, sector
Turn
1,
5.
sector 2. So I reckon if we were right on board with Super Gamer, we might see
Let's see.
Ferrari of Killer Blue.
Yeah, whoa, no!
Oh, yeah.
He's done the exact same, I bet.
Yeah.
Just that snap of oversteer overcorrection. Oh dear, turn 5. It's not considered.
Already claimed 2 victims. Yeah, the inside curve is very dangerous there, as I experienced that myself as well. And well, yeah, you don't really want to be taking that too aggressively.
Yeah, you'll see, like, the essence is to try and get as close to that curve as possible without actually touching it. That's how you're going to get success. I'm on board with Morgan, who was a top driver, of course, in D2 last season, top 2 in the championship, was in the championship fight pretty much the whole way, just until the last few races. So, but he's come into the season with a bit of a disadvantage. He's changed his device. He's on the wheel now, trying to adapt. He's a bit off his usual pace at Silverstone. We'll see if he has some better success. Here, flag through turn 12 there, nice and clean. You don't want to be getting too aggressive or you're risking a trip into the barriers, which of course is not how you want it there. You don't want your confidence crushed before your season's really kicked off. B. Morgan flicks it into 14, down into 4th gear there, really trying to be aggressive, get the rotation of the car. Now the 2nd gear, around 15, and now the final corner, trying to work it out, just kiss that outside curb, take as much momentum as you can to the line, and B. Morgan does a 21-1. So he pops himself ahead of Rick. That's not bad for Morgan, you know, it's a learning process for him, but he's not looking out of place in this field, so currently doing a pretty decent job.
Jaco just went up to P6 with a 120.8. So he and his ILRT teammate Dan showed a great battle in pre-season.
Absolutely spectacular, yeah.
Let's see. Hopefully we'll see a few more of those throughout the season.
Yep. Well, I'm going on board with Dan for a full hot lap here of the Albert Park circuit. So breaking down into turn 3, bit wide there, just overcooking it maybe on the brakes, maybe just being a bit cautious there with the turn in. Of course, a lot of factors that could play into that, but yeah, Dan, not the way he wanted to start his lap. Of course, the pre-season race winner, definitely one of the favourites going in, having fought for the title, led most of the way last season. Just got pipped to the post by QVR Campbell, who, in fairness, he's lost to a guy that's currently fighting for podiums in D1, at least based off of this race. So there's no shame in that. So we'll see if Dan's able to establish himself against this field, currently 2.5 tenths up on his lap. Uses 5th gear going through turn 11, which does seem quite unusual for me. Still Gary at the top of the timesheets with that 20.3 that he set near the start of the session. We'll see if there's drivers that are able to pick up and maybe get towards those 119s. You know, a lot of guys have been saying, you know, they can do those 19s. Let's see if they can do them when it really matters. Speaking of doing it when it really matters, Dan, well, he's no stranger to that. He always performs when he absolutely needs to, and here he is up to the line. He does a 20.5, puts himself in the top 3. He's in the mix there, still behind the D2 D1 demotees, if you like. So he puts himself in contention at least, as Nico just jumps him there, just 100th quicker. Good lap from him on his debut in D2.
Let's see. I think V5 is on another lap, so coming up to the fast chicane of 11 and 12 in 7th gear, 1/10 up. So let's see what he can do. Takes a very aggressive but nice line for that chicane. Coming up to turn 13, hard braking zone, but not too hard. He's just about to get that right. Will be as much track as possible on the entry of 14. He's taken very clean lap so far from what I've seen from P5. And he comes around final corner. Opens the DRS and let's see where he comes out. And that's a 120.190 and he pops himself into P1.
Yeah, nice lap from V5 there. Just a very clean lap as you said, so no mistakes really, and that's where it gets you. So we've got a couple of cars in their pits there. I've just hopped aboard with Maledictus, who I believe is on the final sector of his flying lap. Better of an inside front lock up there going into turn 13, but he keeps it, still makes the apex, and good apex speed. Around about, I think he may have had to back that up, I'm not sure, because of Dan being in front of him, and he bails out. I'm not sure if he was on a complete flyer, but Maledictus may have been affected by Dan there, so if that's the case, not great to see. But yeah, he dives into the pits, will be improving.
Let's see, it doesn't look like anyone's really on the lap right now.
Well, I think, no, Rick's on an in lap, I think, so
Adri might be.
I believe Adri is, so we'll go on board with the McLaren then, as he gets around turn 6, 7 and now 8 there. Be a long right-hander and onto the brakes at this very tricky corner. Difficult to get the braking right and the line. He spots it relatively well, take it pretty cautious with that exit curve, don't want to go all over it, compromises traction. And now up towards turns 11 and 12. This absolutely fantastic corner. He's 3.5 tenths up. We'll see if he can find in even more time. Bit of a left though going through 12. Just not wanting to run too far into that curve. He's not opening his DRS, interestingly enough. So I'm not sure if he's on a complete flyer. We'll stay on board with him anyway. As now going down turn 14 in a high speed corner there, tries to take as much apex speed as he can now, hard on the brakes, easing off now, second gear, and he opens up that final corner, takes a wide entry, now pins the throttle, trying to get as good an exit as he can. Again, he may have had a DRS failure because he's not opening that DRS and he only goes P16, so I'm not sure if he's got an issue there, but yeah, that's I'm sure that's not what he's capable of. Adri's going to have to go back in and sort that out, so yeah. He's got some work to do.
Yeah, or at least maybe his McLaren pit crew has some work to do. I think. Speaking of McLaren, I think his teammate might be on a lap.
I believe he is, yep.
So he's coming down to turn 13 once again. And that brings out quite nice. Quickly back down to third gear. And leaves a bit of apex on the entry there. Yeah, has a nice line through 15. Come around the final corner. Let's see what he can do.
Clean. Jekyll up to the line there in the McLaren. Does he put himself up in contention? It's a decent last. 20.5 puts in P4. This field is so unbelievable. Morgan, wow. But I've just seen this. There's half a tenth between third and eighth. Half a tenth.
There's three. Matt, even like P3 and P15, would you name that difference?
It's less than 4 tenths. Oh my days! What a field we have here. The thing, you're 7 tenths off pole and you're popping yourself up there. Oh my god, Rex just made it. No, Carmentalus has moved up. Yeah, Carmentalus has moved up into P9 for the Toro Rosso man. So he puts himself in that top 10. Of course, it's qualifying just outside the top 10 is hardly the end of the world, because you can slap on a set of medium tyres and try and do a reverse strategy, as several drivers have been doing in D1, I noted earlier. So we'll see what happens. Looking round, I think Nico might be one of the only guys on a hot lap right now, so going board with the Racing Point there. Just 300ths up first sector. Good time from him. He's now going to try and make it work using that outside curb, and now through the long turn 8, and now onto the brakes now for turn 9. Spots it nicely, third gear into fourth, bit wide on the exit, but he's able to carry the speed through just about, so he manages that throttle pedal Well, he manages prepares that quite nicely and keeps himself in contention. He's 2 tenths up. If he nails his last sector, this could be up there with that time from V5. He has a good run, very aggressively through turns 12, but he's able to keep it clean. Keeps it in 7th. Now into 3rd there for 13. His teammate gets out of the way. Now into 14. Good flick in there and onto that outside curve. Bit of just a kiss on the gravel. May cost him a tiny bit of time and maybe a bit of grip through these last few corners. We will see. Nico over the line now. Running up to it, 7th gear, up to 300 kilometers an hour over the line. It's a 19.9 spectacular lap, and the former D3 driver makes an absolute statement. 2.5 tenths clear.
Very, very good lap. And, he's the first one to pop into the 19s, and let's see if anyone else can do that.
Wow, that is going to take some beating. Let's have a look at Gary Donegan, his teammate, who's been hyped up as one of the favourites potentially coming into the season. He's going to get a slipstream from Nico, though Nico decides to drive straight on. I'm guessing that was communicated, as Gary does a 26.2 for a sector, absolutely rapid. I believe that was a 10th quicker than Nico, so we'll see if he's able to keep this together throughout the remainder of this lap. Good line, all over both curves, going through turns 9 and 10. So now he prepares himself now for one of the most technically difficult corners. I don't know what I'm saying. I've had a bit of a brain fade there. Really, really good speed going through turn 12. This is looking like one hell of a lap there. Gary Donegan, 4 tenths off pole, but he can still make it work there. Now he's got to just hold it together. Going through these final few corners. Misses the apex slightly, but he doesn't hit the gravel like his teammate did. This is looking good for Gary Donegan. Coming down from D1. He had little success last season. Is he going to kick off his season well? Gary Donegan, does he get onto professional pole? Up to the line, it's a 19.8. He pops himself just 700. It's clear. The racing points 1 and 2. Wow, that's a message to the other teams.
Definitely. So QVR Mark Maledictus is coming across the line and he sets him 120.1. Gets himself up to P3.
Yeah,
Anyone
Maledictus.
else close? I think V5 might be close once more. Actually,
I think he's starting a lap. Is he going to make it? No, he's not going to make it. So V5 is not going to improve.
McCrew just got up to P5.
Good lap from McCrew. And he's came over the line as well, but he won't be improving. So we're going to look to some of the other guys, some very experienced people, a bit further down the timesheets, as Rick has just come out of that final quarter. He's also not opened his DRS, funnily enough, maybe got a failure himself, and that's going to cost him. There's a 21
big
flat.
W into P5.
Good lap. Good lap indeed. J. Cole and Dan still quite early on in their laps. They've gone as late as possible. So let's have a look. We've got YHYY.
Cookie Games.
Cookie pops himself into P3, sorry. As YHYY is backed off on that lap. So we've got Morgan, J. Cole and Dan. Morgan gets P8. So we've got the guys that finished 2nd and 4th there last season. Former champion in J. Cole. We'll see how these guys are able to stack up. First of all,
Harry just gets himself into P6.
Sorry, good lap from him, just behind his teammate. Now, oh, that's going to be off-putting for J. Cole there. That McLaren, I believe it was, just parked in the middle of the track. It's going to be putting off. Dan puts himself only P9. J. Cole to the line, just goes ahead of him. The guys that dominated the pre-season race, further down the order, is Racing Point. Take a huge 1-2 to kick off this season. Wow. One guy moving down from T1, one guy moving up from D3, and they look like a power player in this division. Gary on pole, Nico alongside him, runs through the order for Verstappen.
Gary and Nico, indeed, on the first row with the Red Bull duo of Cookie Games and Maledictus behind, then V5 and Harry, the Renault duo. And then we have Big W and McCrew in P7 and P8, the IRT duo in P9 and 10. Then we got B Morgan in P11, Rick in P12, Carmentelis, Mark, YHYY, Matty G, Adri, Killer Blue, Super Gamer, and then Dylan around off the grids. P20.
I've never seen that before. Just like teams
top
dominate.
8.
That's something that's pretty commonplace in real F1, but in league racing, that may be the first time that's ever happened. That's remarkable.
Yeah. At least I can't recall anything like that happening anywhere really. So yeah, quite of an unique situation, especially because we have such a competitive grid. And I think the gap from like P1 to P14 was 7 tenths. Let's say that.
Yeah, especially that midfield is incredibly close. But yeah, I'm just
Yeah, definitely.
wow, that might be historical in league racing terms. First four rows, each dominated by a specific team, just blows my mind.
Mad stuff.
But we're getting ready now for this race here in Albert Park. Really looking forward to this one. Hopefully, these guys are able to keep it clean, going through that tight first corner. It's Gary Donegan, maybe for the first time in his career, leads the field away on the formation lap. Let's see what he's able to do. Cookie Maledictus, of course, they'll be fancying their chances. Two pretty experienced drivers themselves, so we'll see how they're able to cope. I was looking at the D1 drivers being demoted. Well, obviously Gary shining above. Cookie also performing very well. V5 not bad from him. The rest of them haven't exactly made as great of an account of themselves. The more experienced guys as well being a bit further down, so they've got their work cut out. So yeah, as for the D3 guys getting demoted, Nico storming to P2 on the grid. Meanwhile, Big W puts in a pretty solid P7. Andrew though, I think had technical issues in quality. That's why he's a bit further down than he would have liked. So we'll
Just want to point out the strategies outside of the top
mixed,
10 are
yeah.
quite interesting. We got B Morgan in P11 and Super Game in P19 starting on softs. Rick Carmentalist, YHYY, and Adri all starting on mediums. And then we got Mark, Matty G, Killer Blue, and Dylan all starting on hard. So quite mixed up behind that. And we know some of these guys have pretty intense pace, and they on their day they can be at the front. So don't count them out just yet for a good result either.
Yeah, it's very mixed actually outside that top 10. Two drivers on those softs, 4 on the mediums, and 4 on the hards. So yeah, you couldn't get much more divided than that. We'll see how each of those strategies fares in the race. That's something I'm looking forward to. As this very unusual top 8 now begins to work their way through to the lights, as V5's just backed off there, and Maledictus is... Wait, no, sorry, I think he was ahead of Maledictus for some reason. Anyway, past that, coming up to the grid now, Gary Donegan puts it on pole. Shows himself he is a contender for this title, but he's going to have his teammate keeping him very honest. Only 700 separating those guys in quali. That I don't expect much to be separating them in the race either, as the cars now line up on this grid for what should be a remarkable new season. It's Gary on pole, Nico alongside him. All the cars lined up, here they come, the lights building, 3, 4, 5 lights! Lights out and away we go. It's a pretty good start from Gary at the front there, looks to try and hold away from Nico. Cookie gets a very nice start. He's outside of turn 1, swoops past the racing point as it looks like it's clean enough. Better jostling going on down in that midfield there. I'm looking behind. I've got on board with the 2 Renaults attacking Maledictus from both sides, like almost a flanking attempt on them, as I think it's V5's been shoved up the track. Harry Noir running outside of Maledictus, and he gets squeezed slightly, but he might have made the move. It would be great if he does. Maledictus holds it outside of turn 5 as Harry gets a bit caught up on that curve. I see a lot going down in this midfield there. Williams of Big W getting pushed around a little bit. He's run wide, losing several positions and holding up Killer Blue as well in that midfield as Rick slots his way through. Yellow's in sector 2. Someone spun, it's Killer Blue is gone. So Killer Blue spinning, but coming out of turn 7, not the start he would have wanted. Cookie Games though, again, if we
He's
saw
got a great start.
as per usual, it seems with him, as it happened in the pre-season race where he gained about 10 places in the first few corners, but not close enough to Gary. But he seems to have got those tyres and that car.
Mark's out.
As Mark's gone, I think he's.
And
he
the
gone?
famous turn 12 and for virtual safety car. So anyone who has damage can,
yeah, you can gain a
basically get a free stop.
Yes, indeed. We'll see if anyone comes in for that. Of course, it is a pit lane loss, but it's not exactly huge. And I wonder if anyone's going to gamble on the hards. As Cookie, I don't know what he's doing. He's kind of having a little look at behind as Jekyll and Morgan, the guys that finished second and fourth in D2 last season, they come into the pits. Matty G and Dylan also in, so the 4 guys, and Killer especially, of course he's doing. As meanwhile, they get back underway up at the front. Cookie chasing onto Gary Donegan, but yeah, 5 cars now in the pits. Gonna gamble and see if they can adjust.
I think they all got damage. I think they all have damage.
Yeah, that does make sense. Look, B Morgan looks like
Cookie Games right on the back of Gary Donegan, and he's gonna get in a run. Is he gonna look into turn 9? He's just about backing off from that.
Guess a good exit though.
Getting a good exit indeed, but I sincerely doubt he's gonna try to do it as a famous QVR Campbell tried to do. He's gonna run into turn 13. Is he gonna look for it? He's looking for it. Inside, but he's taking it cautiously, and Gary holds on to the position for now.
Cookie looks let up in these early phases of the race. Super Gamer just nips it down the inside of Rick going into turn 13 on those softs, so we want to make quick progress through the field as they come over the line to start lap 3. Cookie looks absolutely rapid. Gary's actually holding up quite a substantial train. The top 5 pretty much nose to tail. Very tight stuff here up at the front. We're seeing fastest laps being set from everyone pretty much because of the VSC. Anyway, round they go now. Bit wide from Cookie Games, but he is close to Gary. He's waiting for that DRS to really come into effect. Going into turn 13 in this lap, Adri is the car in the pit lane this time. Maybe picking up damage after the VSC. He's going to try and work as best he can. Maybe switch up his strategy as he gets a front wing change. It looks like, is that softs on his car? It's hard. No, he's on hards. He's gone hards. All right, nice graphical glitch, Cody's. But yes,
we basically got the top 6 with the Racing Points, Ripples, and Renaults all breaking away, and not far behind McCrew and Dan.
Well, this is going to be Cookie Games' first real opportunity here. Going in a turn 13, if he gets a good exit, he's able to follow really close. It must be a bit of a psychological blow to Gary Donegan, who qualified on pole. Down the inside goes Cookie. Is he more committed this time? Yes, he is. He's got that inside line. Forces Gary a bit wide, but gets oversteer. Gary's going to stick it. Side by side into 14. No, backs out. Tries to look for a better exit and set up maybe a move. Down into turn 1 is Nico dives it again. We saw him do this in Britain, and he's compromised his teammate quite heavily. Side by side, the Maledictus Harnoward fancies his chances. We're only outside as these guys now all begin to bunch up, and it gives Cookie Games that opportunity. Nico right up behind his teammate, but Gary, for his sake, does have that DRS to keep afloat as Maledictus runs wide. Coming out of 1, that's going to give Harry that opportunity. Sprague's up to the outside. He's going to do a drag race down towards 3. Doesn't look like anything else is going to happen. Right around the outside, Harry very late braking, but runs deep. Killer's out of the session as Maledictus is able to hold that now. V5 fancies a look at his teammate, but Killer, both the Ferraris out. But a disastrous start to the season for them. There'll be no points on the table for them. Oh, as Maledictus makes a mistake, that's going to put Harry having a look, but so does V5. He fancies a crack at his teammate to the outside of turn 7. He backs out of it there probably wisely. That's just allowing these Racing Points to break away and trying to stick with Cookie, who has still got everything switched on and is looking absolutely rapid in these early laps.
It's V5 just overtaken Harry down the inside of 11.
Good
move. I think he just got a better exit of 10, and he's immediately going to try and close up to Maledictus as soon as possible. As Portuguese driver runs a bit of wide there. He's needs to try to get in the rest of Iberian mates Nico. I think he's just about got that.
Well,
actually he hasn't.
He hasn't got it, but on the Delta apparently he is within a second. Must not have been at the detection point behind McCrew. He's managed to get into this battle through all the jostling that went on that last lap, but he is coming under pressure from Dan. Dan, of course, he's not going to go for anything silly here, so he doesn't try that move down the inside this time. As Maledictus, though, he is struggling in these early laps under heavy pressure from V5. Take it away, Verstappen.
Let's see, V5 coming up to turn 6. Basically, it's very hard to make an overtake as Maledictus does run a bit wide of the exit of 6 and 7. And V5 will be looking to benefit from that. And Maledictus has a bit of a slide there. Maybe V5 will try to close up and maybe line up his car to make a move into turn 13.
Let's have a look there. Let's have a look there. Can he get the exit though? That's the big question. Both of them get a launch off the corner pretty well. And it looks like Nico has made a mistake, but he has to go defensive there from Maledictus. Malo's not going to try and force anything too silly here, as Gary's actually really got this switched on, because he is putting all sorts of pressure on Cookie at the front. Still the top 6. They're back in this position where they're all nose to tail. It's incredible stuff there. But it does look like Nico's the one that's struggling just a little bit. Now under pressure from Maledictus. Now under pressure from V5. V5 in particular honing in on the Red Bull there. Has a look to the inside of turn 1. Wouldn't expect a move there on the brakes. But Dan, side by side with McCrew, gets the move done into turn 1. Runs wide on the exit. McCrew though doesn't have that DRS to fight back with, as V5 searching for that inside line, doesn't quite find it. Dan covering off McCrew there in that battle for P7, trying to get back in this lead grip. It's still so close. There's 8 cars in real contention, and Car Mentalist is in a pretty good place himself, just a couple of seconds adrift on those mediums, so keep an eye on him as a potential contender to get amongst these guys.
If he's trying that medium to soft strategy, which we saw which worked out in D1 at least, you never know what he can do towards the end of the race, and those mediums will get the advantage of the softs at this point basically, so try and keep an eye on that Toro Rosso driver.
It's a weird thing with the racing points. It's V5. Oh, that's early. That's not what you want to see for V5. Sitting at the back of this train near enough. He's got to try and put distance between himself and these guys, which is going to be very, very difficult. Racing point drivers, particularly Gary, they're very inconsistent in terms of their pace. Super Gamer, side by side with YHYY, YHYY getting forced wide slightly, but he didn't get that move done on the Alpha. Further up the grid though is
Nico's into the pits.
Nico very early, lap 6. So lap 6, sorry. So he's going to go in looking for that undercut. I'm expecting a lot of drivers into this next lap, and because there's so many teammates up here, it makes things very complicated as to who gets advantage on strategy. V5 is tucked in by Maledictus again, but no move this time. Gary really starting to put pressure on Cookie. Maybe Cookie's put too much in those first few laps, and you know it's very easy to overheat the tyres, as we've got yellows in sector 3.
Matty G is out of the race.
Oh dear. Yeah, there's no car near on track, so can't really see, but yeah, that's disappointing from Matty G.
And Nico has went onto those hard, so he'll be trying to get those to the end of the race, which should be possible. I reckon we'll see 1 or 2 drivers respond this lap, maybe even Team Gary following him. So let's see how that pans out.
That's what I expect. I expect Gary in particular to be in this lap, and Cookie as well, who seems to be struggling quite heavily, but Maledictus is still under pressure for V5, and to his credit, has made absolutely no significant error that has allowed the Rhino through, keeping him at bay. Now, let's see, this is the interesting part here. It doesn't look like any overtakes are going to happen in this lead group. Cookie, though,
Cookie's
pits. Gary, pits. Oh, Maledictus, no! Oh,
V5 is in, and Harry continues on, so yeah, that's a real shame for the Portuguese man, as he'll be held up. It's been seen now.
Yeah, double stacking is a killer on this game, because you see the pit crew, they take a while to respond.
V5 is onto the mediums.
Ooh, that's risky. For a lap 7 pit stop.
Risky.
For a lap 7 pit stop, he's going to have to really look after these tyres. Nico now,
Cookie
coming down the main straight.
Time.
Nico
has won a lot of time.
Yeah, Gary.
Nico jumping Gary. Cookie is clear from the rest. I think V5 will be faster as Harry picks up a time penalty with yellows in sector 1 and the Super Gamer. Will be seen with.
I think it's turn 5. Turn 5 as well, I think. Let's have a look there as Cookie rounds the corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he did the exact same thing in quali. I'm not sure if it was him or not, but just that maybe overcorrection going into the wall. But yeah, it's Cookie's really gained an advantage from that. Nico now, he's jumped up into net P2 with that undercut as Gary got held up, but now his problem is is that he's just outside that DRS. He's got older tyres, so he's going to have to really work if he wants this race win. He's got to outpace Cookie there in these hards. We'll see if he can do it. I know he's been really motivated to do well in this race, so we'll see what happens.
Picked up time penalty, just as you said.
Commentator's curse at his finest.
Yeah. And he needs to try to get within that seconds. And Australia's a track where you can pick up penalties. So he's not out of contention just yet.
Nope, not by any means. So we'll see as McCrew comes into the pits, keeping those softs on the island for a decent while. Both the Williams drivers actually staying out quite a considerable amount of time, as McCrew is banking on those fresher tyres. But one man that's banking on softer tyres right now is V5. He's in that DRS range, but because Gary's getting helped out by the tow from his teammate, he's actually being able to stay safe from V5. He has a little look on the inside of Nico going into 3. He looks eager to get that move done, because he's in a good position here to try and chase down Cookie. It looks like he's got some good pace. As Cookie, with those fresher tyres compared to Nico, is just beginning to eke out that gap now, almost 1.6 seconds. So Gary, if he wants this race win, he's gonna try and get it on track against his teammate. Is Nico gonna lie down and accept that? I don't know. We could be seeing some inter-teammate rivalry as early as round 1. This is one battle I want to see.
Yeah, that can definitely spice up to be a good one. Maybe he can have a look if he gets a good exit out of 12 into 13. Let's see. Does have a decent one. DRS opens, but I don't think he's just close enough. No, he isn't.
Yeah,
you'll be looking at later on.
Yeah, you don't want to be pulling silly moves at this stage in the race, especially against your teammate. Because you may get screwed over by the contact model, wink wink. But
yeah.
moving swiftly on as Big W comes into the pits, one of the last soft runners to pit. It's Harry that's really eking it out at the front, as now Gary to the outside of turn 1. That's unorthodox. Does he get it on the brakes? Yes, he does. He catches Nico napping there, as V5 is going to look for the follow through, gets squeezed onto the curb, but it's fair racing, and V5 gets through as well. Nico losing 2 places in once. Great race, great opportunistic driving from V5. Take advantage of that. But now it's Gary's turn. He's now lost, well, he's 2.5 seconds behind, so he's got a lot of work to do against Cookie. But of course, still anyone's game. I don't believe either of these guys has penalties, so it's just all on the pace, and we'll see if Gary, with that incredible pace that he's shown in quali, can he do it in the race. Let's see it, as he's going to have pressure from V5 as well on those mediums, trying to keep him honest.
Definitely, yes. A bit further down, Maledictus is putting the pressure on McCrew. And, he'll be looking to get that move down into turn 13. Doesn't get the best exit though, as McCrew picks up a time penalty.
Don't believe
as Harry is into the pits.
Right,
and
so
he'll be looking to get at those mediums, I reckon.
Yep. So watch out for Harry. Now he's on those mediums the same as his teammate, but of course they are much fresher. He'll be quicker and they won't be struggling as much at the end of this race. V5, if he wants to win this, he's got to look after these tyres, but he wants this to get track position to try and get the best result he has. Of course, he does have that penalty, which is going to hold him back, but he is right on the back of Gary Donegan. They both get half decent exits coming off of 2. Here comes V5. He's got to try and be clinical with his moves, but he doesn't want to be desperate with his moves. Hangs back. Dan still ahead of Harry, who's lost a lot of time obviously through that pit phase, but considering he's only about 3 seconds behind Nico, I'd still wouldn't put him out of contention here. Harry is going to be rapid compared to these guys now. If he can work those tyres well, he could still be on for a really good result.
Yeah, definitely. So V5 basically needs to get past Gary as soon as possible to make those mediums work to its optimal pace, basically. And yeah, he needs to be trying to get that. And maybe into 13 if he gets a good enough exit, but it looks like actually Gary's got a better exit out of them.
Looks like
no move happening there.
Gary does seem very strong in that chicane. I think V5's best opportunity will be into turn 3. It's a good overtaking spot, but he's got to try and commit to it when he's in range. You know, these kind of half-hearted looks he's having, well, there's every chance they can put the opponent off. a lot of the times it's just going to cost you time. So he's got to try and judge that right. He does clip the grass going into the last corner, but he gets a very good exit, and he's on the back of Gary now. So it's going to be down to how well he can follow going through turn 1. Gary's got to try and take as much apex speed as he can to stay afloat. V5 loses a bit of time in that dirty air, but now he's going to be chasing. He turns his ERS down. So he hangs back. Both these guys looking after their ERS. Gary has just chipped away at that gap to Cookie. He's not out of this yet. As yeah, the battle between Dan and Harry is one that I want to watch out for. Harry's not made a massive impression on his first lap. Maybe just taking a bit of time to really get to grips with acclimatise to these mediums. And once he has, I reckon he'll be on the hunt. Still Gary holding up V5 in this battle for a net P2.
Yes, currently I think looking at the gap between Cookie and Gary, it looks like Gary is marginally faster, but he needs to gain a bit more a lap to actually close up to him. As Gary picks up a time penalty, as
V5
is a major snap of oversteer out of turn 12, and just about saves that.
The V5, you mean Gary had an oversteer moment?
Yeah.
Because V5 ran wide going through 12. That could have been an opportunity for him. And look, it's bunched up all these guys. Gary, he's going to be a bit rattled. He seems to be really struggling now. He's been getting oversteer out of virtually every corner. This is V5's moment now. When Gary's rattled, he's got to take advantage of that. Here comes V5. Closing in, but of course it takes a very ballsy move on the inside of turn 1 and a bit of a dumb move, it must be said. Does Gary make the most of his turn 1? Yes he does, but V5 gets an even better run now using the grip of his tyres. He's got to try it now. No, he doesn't want to send it on the brakes, and I feel like he needs to try it. Obviously it's hard to muster up the courage to go for a move from that distance, but at the same time he needs to be gaining time on Cookie, and right now he's not doing that because he's getting held up behind Gary. Nico's still in contention, but both these racing points now are penalties, which is going to hold them back. As does V5, by the way. So Cookie in a very good position up at the front.
Yeah, definitely he looks to be favourites to win here. Let's just check the gap. Mentalist. He is 12 seconds ahead of Cookie at the moment. I know you can gain quite a bit of time on the end on softs. Of course, Cookie is gonna close up a bit on those fresher hards. Don't count the Toro Rosso driver completely out of this. I was saying that before, as well as Rick, as he's quite on the back of Commensalist actually. Into turn 1. Let's see, can he make it work into turn 3? When the DRS open, let's see. Can he send it down the inside? He's just too far off. He can't make that stick. Rick looks quite fast at the moment as V5 picks up another time penalty.
Yeah, it's not great to see.
Definitely don't want that.
Not close enough to Gary Donegan just yet. He's going to try and have that look, but Rick does look very pacey, must be said, on these mediums. And if he can just stay in contention, if he can get past Mentalist, then he's in with a shout. But really, that Cookie doesn't seem to have the all-out raw pace of Gary, but if he's able to just not make mistakes, he has been prone to mistakes in the past, but currently in this race, he has been near perfect, keeping these very quick drivers at arm's length. Though, of course, V5 is in a very difficult position now with those 2 penalties. Really, looks like Cookie, he may just have to keep it on the track to win this race, so V5 is under a bit of pressure, but he's got to try and get this move done on Gary now, going out of turn 12 now.
Let's see, it doesn't look like he's close enough. Gary just gets that exit out of 12 every time, and just makes him stick ahead as McCrew. And that must have been the deadly turn 12. Yes, it has. He can just run on board with his teammates.
Turn 12 claims yet another victim.
As Rick close to Carmen's list, but not close enough once again.
No move. Now, V5 tries.
Indeed.
Takes decent apex speed in that dirty air, and now he's not got his ERS turned up. I don't think he's thinking about a move here. Gary, to his credit, is doing a very good job. He's not really given V5 any opportunities to get through. Maybe V5's tyres already starting to go through. Now, Harry, he's not made the progress I was expecting. I realise. Oh, another penalty for V5. this is putting him at the mercy of some of the guys further down the field now. It's not looking good for the driver coming down from D1. Maybe he's under a bit of pressure, starting to make those mistakes. He's got to try and get his head back in the game. But he's looking at...
Relentless picked up a time penalty.
So that's going to drop him out. We're seeing a lot of penalties amongst these front runners, particularly. The guys further down the field haven't seemed to be picking them up that much, but up at the front, there has been just that little bit of inconsistency from these guys. As now we've got another Renault closing up to our car on hards, looking to get past, as Harry now tries to search for a way inside or outside of ILRT Dan. As Nico's actually...
You may want to switch to Rick though. He's very close to Commentalis. Commentalis looks to get the exit.
Going down towards turn 3, Rick's close. He looks to the inside. No. He was in range there. It would have taken quite a move. V5, he's pulled back some time on Gary Donegan, but I don't think he's close enough this time round. Again, Gary. The thing is with Gary, he seems to be quick in the crucial corners where he needs to be quick. Those, like turns 1 and 2, turns 12. Those big overtaking zones that V5's trying to set him up for. Gary's just has that little bit of speed when he needs it. Of course, having a car following in the dirty air, it's not going to be helping. But up at the front, in this battle between the guys on the reverse strategy, Rick looking all over Carmentos. Carmentos again gets a better run coming out of 12. Rick's got that ERS up, but I don't think he's there. No, still 2/10 shy.
Harry was close to Dan, but he's backed off a bit.
Still there. V5 is closer to Gary this lap round, but again it takes quite a move, as Dan looks like he's done enough to keep Harry at bay. And these guys can keep on doing it. They can keep keeping these Renaults behind, and eventually those mediums are going to start dropping off. So what Gary and Dan are doing right now could be instrumental for the race later on, as Rick again sets on that rear end of Carmentalist. He is close coming out of turn 1. He's close coming out of turn 2. Can he be even closer going into turn 3? Dives it to the inside this time. Rick, has he done it? Yes, unless he overcooks the exit. No, it's a great move from Rickarich. And yeah, he is able to finally grab that lead on track. And now Carmentalist, he's taken a blow, both with the penalty and now not being that top medium runner. So now Rick got to try and press on. He'll be boxing in these next few laps, so he's got to try and make the most of them and push out and get himself in contention, maybe be in range of people like Maledictus to be able to strike when he needs to. So currently Rick, he's looking at a decent result here.
Yeah, definitely. And as he just showed, how do you overtake around Australia? As it's proven to not be an easy track to overtake. But he's just made it work, and yeah, he needs to be getting away from Commentalis. That's his direct opponent at the moment.
Well, I've just seen Mr. Old School 3000 has put in the chat Rick 5th here. That is LOE Mark. So we'll see if the wise old fox is right with this prediction there. So yeah, Rick. So he predicts Rick for 5th. I don't think that's unrealistic, as Dan makes a mistake going through that penultimate corner. Well, Cookie's definitely still got pace, fastest lap,
yep.
And
this is that point where those hearts are starting to get better, and basically he's getting the most out of them, and he can get back into those 24s. He's shown in the...
I think V5 might just be out of time here, because he's. Yeah, you see, as you mentioned, those hards, as they get better, the mediums are going to drop off. And V5 pitted quite early for a guy on mediums. I think you'll be seeing him following into the clutches of the likes of Nico, and of course he has that 9 seconds of penalties as well. So V5, he showed good pace, but ultimately, unless he pulls off a miracle or if some luck falls his way, looks like he's going to have to settle for kind of like a mid top 10.
He's dropping off. He's dropping off from Gary already, and those mediums will start to go off, and it'll be quite a task to actually get us to the end, because you gotta take him over 20 laps in total. I haven't seen that before, so let's see how that pans out. He might be
Rexen
getting Rexen Incrementalist as well.
Oh no!
Rick gets a 5-second
Ah,
penalty for speeding. Carmentelis keeps it clean though. Both these guys are gonna go into the softs.
yeah.
These guys will set some rapid
Oh,
laps as Cookie has got a time penalty.
well,
Needs to be watching out.
well, he still has he still has a 2.7 advantage over Gary. He's got, and Gary's made a mistake there going through turn 3. So Cookie's still pretty comfortable. Of course, both these guys have 3 seconds, I do believe. He's just got to try and keep it
Yep.
on the island. But if he, of course, the good thing he has, he can't really push too hard in terms of tyre wear because it's not going to affect him too much at the end. But Rick now, penalty is a blow, must be said. Now he's got to get back on with it. He's 3.5 seconds adrift of Maledictus. Watch that gap be absolutely sliced down. Of course, yeah, Rick, he'll be a bit rattled probably after that penalty.
Jekyll
Jekyll
sets a fast lap and YHY gets the time penalty.
as marked in the chat. YHYY is Rick's brother, and Rick was Gary's old teammate. So, yeah, and, yeah, for a time we had quite an interesting run up at the front as YHYY dives into the pits. But Cookie is going to be praising the Lord for that. He's now got DRS to try and establish himself ahead of Gary Donegan, who's V5. He's sticking with him, which is what he needs to do, and he actually sets the fastest lap. Well, I think he has burned quite a bit of VRS. He's maybe just going for a last-ditch effort to gain track position. He's got the penalties, but he's just going to throw everything at it. I don't think there's any chance for a move, though. As Harry also just seems to be dropping off. These mediums, just not quite going the distance as it seems. As Rick beginning to close in on Maledictus, he's gained about 2 seconds in this last lap. So
it's about he and Carmentelis as well will be looking to get past Maledictus, and eventually Harry and Dam will be left to pray as well.
Yeah, let's see what happens if indeed. But yeah, it's Harry that I think's going to be quite vulnerable. He's looking after these tyres decently. V5 actually, up to this point, has done quite a good job of that. But he still does it. Oh, Gary's made a mistake. Gary's made an error. This could be V5's chance. Inside of turn 13. Has he finally dispatched it? Gary's not going to give it up though. Round the outside. Great comeback from Gary. Holds it round. And V5 is unable to keep him at bay. And yeah, late braking from Gary is able to do that. As Adri's out, so I'm not sure where he might be. I don't think it's the famous turn 12. I think.
Turn 6 and 7.
Yeah, that's the exit. So we've seen another car hitting the wall. It's a track where it's surprisingly easy to do so. Just put yourself in that wall. So now we'll see V5. He seems to have been rejuvenated in his last few laps. Decent pace. Rick is all over the back of Maledictus.
And Carmentelis actually smashed that fastest lap from Rick by 5 seconds once more. But Rick will be looking to get past Maledictus. Down the inside, and it should be quite an easy move. Brakes way later on those softs. It gets past relatively easy. Now he gets hunts down Harry. There's 1.7 down the road.
Yeah, that's one car down for Rick on his absolute charge through the field. It looks like an unstoppable force. It's an unstoppable force making very movable objects here as Rick looks like he's going to try and make his climb. After that penalty, it's a bit of a blow, but he can still get a decent haul of points here. He's in a decent position. There's other cars around him who've got penalties. I don't think he's picked up a corner cutting penalty. He's up against Harry, who does seem to be struggling now. He's lost that DRS from Dan, and Rick, well, I guess he sees his opportunity here. He smells blood. Here comes Rick now to try and make his climb, as Harry makes a mistake as well, going out of 13. Rick looks like he's going to grab that DRS. V5,
yeah.
Gary has been unable to shake V5 in this race, as Harry is making mistake after mistake. Looks like these tyres, I don't know if he's overheated them or what, because his pace has dropped off hugely in just one lap. Rick to the inside, down the pit straight, across the line, he's already ahead, and swoops to his line. That's easy pickings for Rick. Carmentelis now on the back of Maledictus. And does he get good apex speed going through turn 1? Maledictus, no DRS for him, but he might still be good enough. Is Carmentelis going to send it? He has a look, not committed enough on the brakes. He's going to take his time here. He's got 2 positions pretty easily sewn up, but he still has a chance of beating Rick. If he's able to make it work quick enough and stay within contact of him, he's all over Maledictus. No move going into turn 6. But he's still
We'll be here though.
quite remarkable that he's able to sit this close. Is he going to try it?
Absolutely
It's
not.
turn 9 now. I think he backed off. He's turned his ZRS down. Maledictus keeps afloat for now. But you
Get
see
a minute exits.
you just see the amount of grip that Carmentalist has in comparison to Maledictus. It seems like a mismatch at this point.
Oh,
That's a risky move. He doesn't go for it. Just easing off just that little bit. Now turns 12. Look at how easily he sticks up close to him. Is Maledictus going to fight it? Is going to force him to the outside. Carmentalist is going to have to work for it. Maledictus very late on the brakes and actually has defended that brilliantly. Carmentalist swoops to the inside. No way through. Great defense from Maledictus. Holds that position for now.
yeah, but I don't think it will be long till Carmentalists actually get past Maledictus here, as he has the DRS on them and a better exit, and it looks like it's an easy move here. Done for the Toro Rosso driver.
Rick on the
Yes.
back of Dan in the Mercedes on the
Ready.
hards. I don't think he's got a prayer here. Rick to the inside and much later on the brakes. He's actually may have overcooked
Way
it.
too late.
He has overcooked it on the brakes. Dan is going to easily take that switch back there. And Rick, he's got to try and distance himself from these cars, and that's not what he's got to be doing there. A bit of a blow for him as now Carmentalist, after pushing a Red Bull around the track. Oh,
Rick
Rick,
gets a penalty.
another penalty.
Carmentalist as well.
Oh wow, the dynamic of this whole battle was just changed. Rick down the inside of Dan, very aggressive look, and it was quite fully committed actually. He got alongside him, able to put off his line, but Dan is able to hold it round the outside with better momentum. V5, I've got to commend V5 actually for his consistent pace. He's looked after those tyres very well, and still, with Gary Donegan being a right nuisance, and Gary's actually dropping back from Cookie now. So Cookie, I think, can close this race down as Carmentalist searches that inside on Harry Noirk through 13, forces him onto the curb but not off the track, and through goes Carmentalist. He's making these overtakes work now, and he's got Rick in his sights. I believe he's got a 2-second penalty advantage over him, so Rick's got to clear Dan as quickly as he can, and let's see what he's able to do. He's got the RS turned down. I don't think he fancies a move going into turn 1, but there's always that exit of turn 2 and the dive into turn 3. Let's see how this plays out there. Rick able to stick on the back of the Mercedes. Dan's not exactly defending that inside line. He's maybe banking on Rick out braking himself. He brakes late again, but not too late this time. He gets it stopped just about and keeps that P5. Now he has got to essentially beat it and get away from this Mercedes, and most importantly that Toro Rosso hot on his heels now in P7. So we'll see how this shapes up. Dan losing a place now. He may just lose another quickly. Carmentalist now on the hunt.
Remember, I don't think I've seen Dan pick up a penalty just yet.
I don't think I've seen Dan
Let
pick
me
up
actually go over the top on penalties. So Cookie's on 1 penalty. Gary's on 2 penalties. V5 is on 3 penalties. Nico's on 1 penalty. Rick is on a 5 seconds and 1 penalty. Dan is on no penalties.
Sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt you there because Maledictus has a go round the outside of turn 14 on Harry Noirk. Can he make that one stick? He keeps it on the track. Harry's still in front, but now down the inside, Maledictus. Harry's not going to give that one easily though. Fantastic racing, and the Renault is just about able to keep it, but it looks like a formality here on the exit. And he's trying to make him work for it as further back. The Carmentalist shaping up his move, but Maledictus is finally able to dispatch. That was great racing. Please, well, actually, don't carry on just yet, because Carmentalist now on Dan. Is he going to send it on the inside? Not quite. Not committed on the brakes. Dan again holds on. As car off. I think that's Dylan's lapped car there. So he pulls out nicely. But yeah, fantastic racing between Maledictus and Harry Noirk. You can carry on now, mate.
Yeah, I think it was left at Carmentalist, so he's on 2 penalties. Maledictus is on 1 penalty. Harry is on 1 penalty as well. YHYY is on 1 penalty. So let me just check how that works. As Carmentalist goes for it and gets easily down to this straight up until 11. So I think as Harry picks up his 2nd time penalty, I think Dan will be benefiting from this, and Maledictus will actually gain a few positions as well. if the soft guys don't carry away too quickly.
Let's
we got
see. Yeah.
4 laps remaining.
Yeah, let's
Yellow's
see how.
in sector 3. Who's that for?
I believe that's Dylan. No, yeah, I think that's Dylan. Who's I think he's had a bit of an off going through turn 14. As well, I've just looked at the chat and I'm quite disappointed, lads. I'm gonna be honest. I won't read out those puns, but yeah, no, okay, we appreciate them, I guess.
Gary picks up another time penalty.
Do you know what this means? I think Nico might be in a position to snatch P2 here.
He's actually in a position to snatch that indeed, because he has 1 penalty and Gary and V5 both have 3.
And so Nico shows keeping it clean does pay dividends in the end. Car Mentalist, looks like Rick had the advantage on the mediums, but Car Mentalists looked very quick, very apt on these soft tyres, and is beginning to chase down on the Haas in front of him. Of course, doesn't have to get that move done, but he might fancy it anyway. We'll see if he's able to get himself in that DRS. As not
you know what
too
I've just
much...
noticed? If Dan keeps it clean, and he gains 2/10 on Gary, he's up for a podium.
Ooh. Well, that's actually a great shout. Actually, Dan. I don't think I've ever seen Dan pick up a penalty. I actually think it should be made an international holiday when this man picks up a penalty because
Morgan is off at turn 12.
Not out though, crucially, so he's going to be able to continue on. It's now Jekyll might be able to snatch that last point off, and both those guys have had
picks up another time penalty.
I think that puts him now at a disadvantage to Rick by 1 second. And now Dan, he's actually, because these guys now on their softs, they're beginning to just almost fizzle out. You know, their pace is dropping, and Dan looks like he's going to easily jump both these guys. And of course, V5 and Gary, not exactly miles out. Let's look at the gap to leader here. So Rick, 11.5 behind. He's only about 4 seconds behind, but yeah, it's Dan who we've got to watch out for. He definitely has V5 for sure, and it's very, very tight with Gary.
Yeah,
it's a tenth. There's literally a tenth in it between them. Incredible stuff.
Exactly.
We'll see.
As V5 picks up another time penalty, that puts him way down the order.
YY, very close to the back of Harnwar. I thought he might try it into turn 11. It's a bit of a mad move, but we've seen it pulled off before. I won't say by who, but
he has plenty of ERS left, so he'll be definitely trying to get past the Renault as soon as possible.
As they head on to the penultimate lap of this race, YY is pushing the Renault on the track. It's Harry that's surprisingly actually had more drop off than his teammate despite having those younger tyres, and he's going to defend from YY, but I don't think he's got much here. The Finnish driver pulls to the outside and easily on the brakes he gets that move done. Car Mentalist is chasing onto Rick. Dan is making good pace at the stage, and he's now still so close. Like it's exactly 9 seconds between. Oh yeah, exactly 9 seconds between these guys.
Thing is though, I don't think either of those guys will know that it's so close.
Yeah, because they won't be able to check in with Jeff unless they're listening into the stream, of course. So
yeah, that's true.
Old school chat. V5% left in his tires. that was good. I'll give that one to you, Mark. That was pretty good. Better than your last one. So
speaking about V5, Nico is right on the back of the Renault driver.
Well, Nico doesn't need this. He's already got P2 pretty much wrapped up with the penalties. So he's just... If he knows that, I think he's just going to play it safe. We'll see. Oh, he does outbrake himself quite heavily going into that last chicane. Cookie Games has started the final lap. Unless he bottles it now, he is prone to it, but I don't think he will now. Yeah, he has made a statement. Just crushing race pace, really. Of course, not exactly setting the world alight in quality, only very solid there. But he's just outclassed the rest of the field here, both in terms of clean driving and in terms of just overall pace. So yeah, I think what great effort from him. There's not much else to say.
Definitely, yes. Dylan gets himself at least the fastest lap. It's not been brave race, getting disqualified in qualifying and getting caught up in some events, as I see Mentalist almost losing it over the curb in turn 5. Yeah, he'll be looking to bounce back in the next race.
Right, Mark, that one wasn't as good. The cookie has not crumbled. Anyway, we're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch this. Could be a nice grandstand finish here to this race. V5 looks like his tires have finally fallen off the cliff. Is Nico gonna try anything too drastic? He's not opened his DRS, which I think is a good sign as to what his plan is. He's just gonna sit back and take that. But we're gonna go on board with Cookie Games. He has driven a near perfect race, grabbed that lead in the first few laps, and he has never looked back. Cookie Games 14 comes up to the line to win the opener at D2 by what in the end will be a pretty crushing margin, as Nico almost gets V5 at the line. Gary comes over, but I don't think he's going to be able to hold that
6
P2.
seconds only.
Oh, he only had 6 seconds. So Dan, no, he does get, it was 9. Dan gets P3 and he almost grabs P2 off Nico. Did Nico have an unserved? I think.
I don't think so. I think he was just like Nico was 9 seconds behind Cookie and.
Oh, he must have got held up by.
By V5.
V5 finishes 9th in the end. Not a good day for not a good day for Renault in the end.
Gary P4, Rick P5, Mamadictus P6, then White HYY P7, Carmentalist P8. The Renaults in 9th and 10th, V5 and out of those. Big W in P11. Let's see, B Morgan or Jaco, who's gonna be on penalties for the last points today. As gotta give a shout, I think Jaco just got it, but B Morgan has made those hard last 28 laps.
Phew. Very well done to him, of course. It's a bit of an alien world here for him, and he certainly wasn't put in the most comfortable position. But on top, it is Cookie Games with a crushing win over the D2 field. I think he finished 11 seconds clear when it all came to shove with penalties in the end. Nico, excellent debut for him. Keeping it clean on the penalties. He grabs himself P2, and Dan, as always it seems, even if he's a bit off the pace, he always finds a way to get a good result. Dan rounds off the podium, but as Cookie, who stamps himself surely as one of the favourites for this season. He's atop the podium for the first time. Run us through the results for Verstappen.
Let's see. Cookie, as you said, gets first place with Nico right in behind. Dan and Gary for and fourth. Then Rick, Maledictus, White, HYY, Carmentalist, V5, Harry, Big W, and Jaco rounds off the points. B Morgan and Dylan are the last two finished outside, and 16 that's with Adri, Mcrew, Super Gamer, Matty G, Killabaloo, and Mark, all not finishing.
So that is it then. Cookie Games on top, and well, he doesn't grab the fastest lap. I believe that goes to Carmentalist. Yeah. Wait, Dylan.
Yeah, 22.9.
So it's yeah, so I think to the point, no, the point still go to anyone then. So that's gonna be it then. Cookie Games on top. Nico, excellent clean drive to second, and of course Dan with another excellent clean drive to P3. Well, I've certainly enjoyed that race. I'm pretty sure you have as well, Verstappen. Hopefully you all have enjoyed you've been able to put up with our commentary for over an hour, which I applaud you for. So yeah, that is going to be it then. Great race to kick us off there. Some incidents, but overall pretty clean driving and some great side-by-side racing as well, up and down the field. But anyway, I've been Daka. He's been Verstappen. Hope you've all enjoyed. We'll see you later.